Have you ever had the fear of failure in your business? Any part of your life? I'm going to teach you how to overcome that and break that fear before it breaks you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Top of the morning, welcome back. This is the Gamechanger podcast with Setema. You guys better get your minds right and get up and let's go. See, it's more than the game that we changing.
Welcome, guys. It's great to have you here. Subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Share this with someone who makes a difference for. We're talking about fear today. Straight talk. Like afraid, you have this idea. You want to launch something, you want to do something, you want to take the leap of faith from being an employee to now being the employer, an entrepreneur. But there's this little thing called fear and doubt that roams around in your head. Ever have that before? Yeah, a lot of people have it. And so what happens is a lot of times people have this fear that breaks them. It stops them dead in their tracks. It stops them from taking action. It stops them cold from moving forward, and it paralyzes them. It's called paralysis by analysis. You look, you start to think of everything that could go wrong, and your mind just takes off. I want to show you how to first of all, tackle this so you don't do that. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 20 plus years of my life. Been doing business for 20 years. The only paycheck that I've had in the last 25 years, was from the NFL. It was the New England Patriots. Robert Kraft was the owner of the team, is the owner of the team, and that's the only W-2 that I ever received. So let's talk about this. What is fear? Well, fear is a liar. Sometimes people use the acronym forget everything and run. Fear is a story that we make up in connection and in meaning with something. So for example, I want to start a business. The mind automatically is designed to protect you, to keep you safe. It's designed to keep you alive. So, the mind's going to be like, what if you die? Isn't that crazy? The mind will say that, don't do it, you could fail. And all you have to do is continue to fill in the blanks by saying, well, what does that mean? What does it mean? I want to start a business. Oh my gosh, you're going to fail. So what does that mean if I fail? And then answer it with the truth. Jesus said the truth sets you free. What I've learned is that there's good and evil. And all that is good operates in the light, operates in truth. Truth is a knowledge of things as they really are. The facts, fear, doubt, lies operate in the dark. It's not the truth. It's not what's factual. It's not what's real. So fear would have you believe you're going to die. Well, really? What does that mean, I'm going to die? It means that if I start the business, then fill in the blank. And you have to just put the words down from the thoughts to words on paper or on your computer. And if you do this, you tactically and strategically begin to break down the fear and realize it's not real. Isn't that crazy? Just take, for example, I have someone who's out raising capital, I have a client who's raising capital. Oh my gosh, I couldn't possibly go ask family and friends to invest in me. Why? Because they're going to say no, which means what? They're going to think that I'm a what? They're going to think, and again, I had to deconstruct this with my client. They're going to think that I'm needy. No, you're a business owner. You're asking for capital to start your business. But what if they think I'm what? A failure? So if they think you are a failure, what does that mean? It means nothing. Isn't that crazy? It means nothing. When you start to do this activity, when you start to just deconstruct fear, ask a girl out, go ask for a loan, go try a new sport. I'm going to do football, but I've never played before. But what if I suck? Well, what if you suck? You should suck because you're brand new at the sport. I want to go do public speaking and do a video on social media, but what if I suck? Well, what if you do suck? You should suck. Well, if I suck, that means what? What does that mean? It means that no one will watch. Okay, what does that mean if no one watches? It means, and again, we make up these meanings that mean absolutely nothing. There's no relevance. There's no power. So if you want to break the fear, it's really simple. Start telling the truth. And the truth is, question, what am I really afraid of? Write it down. And then ask, what does that mean? And then write it down. And then ask, what does that mean? And then just keep writing. What does that mean? What does that mean? And pretty soon you're going to get to a thing that says it's all made up. The meanings that I'm creating, that there's a boogeyman in the closet, is all made up. I attended a Landmark forum. Phenomenal. If you have a chance to go, I challenge you to go. It's called Landmark. 2014. And I reached out to one of my coaches who I ended up hiring eventually, and his name is Steve. And Steve says, go to Landmark. Don't let anything stop you from going to Landmark. Okay, I'm going to go. So I pay the money. And I go sitting there for 3 days. And one of the greatest takeaways says that the meaning of life is that life is empty and meaningless, and that is also empty and meaningless. It was something to that effect. I'm like, what? No. I grew up in a religious home. Like, the purpose of life is that we're supposed to become like God and return and live in the heavens. And, well, okay. It was amazing because what it means is the meaning of life is meaningless until we give it meaning. And then we give life meaning. So whatever meanings we make creates the feelings and the thoughts and the emotions. That's what it is. So the only power that fear has is the power that you give it by the meanings that you make up. And now, the one thing I love about fear is while most people let fear stop them because you're making up some crazy thing like it's going to kill you, which it's not. It's not true. That's not real. But you made it up. I love to use fear as a teacher. Like I love to use fear as a trigger or a teacher for data. Make decisions that are based upon data. So if you're afraid, you ought to be like, what am I really afraid of? Okay, I feel called to go do this thing. I'm about to go do it. I'm afraid that I'm going to fail. What am I really afraid of? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means, well, nothing. I'm making all this stuff up. Okay, that ought to tell me that I ought to move forward. That fear becomes a teacher directing me and guiding me to do the thing that I'm afraid of. Now, there is a difference between fear that is made up and what I call a warning. And that's a very different thing. When I talk about a warning, I'm talking about like promptings. A warning, a prompting, like the Spirit of God telling you, hey, don't do this, don't go here. That is very different. And they're distinct. That's for another conversation. So anytime you have self-induced fear and you're making stuff up because you're a meaning-making machine, well, just use it as data to say, okay, I actually need to do this thing. For example, if I want to shoot a social media video, got kids in our Elite Performance Prep Academy. It's our micro school. Check it out, Elite Performance Prep Academy. On Instagram, we got 13 centers. 20 will be operational in the wintertime. Kids, I'm like, shoot a social media video. And they're like, oh my gosh, I suck. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I'm not very good. Well, you shouldn't be very good because you've never done it before. So that's okay. You get into the suck box. Okay, now what? Now, what if you put a video out there? Well, then what if no one likes it? Well, what if no one likes it? What does that mean? And they're like, well, it means that like I'm not popular. Is that really what it means? Maybe it just means that you're not in the algorithm. And there's so much content out there that you're just now entering the stage where people want to see if you're serious. So what does it really mean? Well, I guess it doesn't mean anything. No. Well, what if no one likes or comments? Well, what does that mean? And the only meaning that is created is the meaning that you create. Because again, we and you, I are meaning-making machines. So how do we break it? Shed light and truth. Answer those questions that I just walked you through. And then use the fear as data to go do the thing that you're afraid of. And then pretty soon after you do it, you recognize, oh, that's not even real. All the fears and doubts that I have, it's not even real. It's not even real. Like, why was I stressing out about this thing? And you're going to learn that about most fear. It's like the boogeyman in the closet that your kids are afraid of. That's all. And when we become adults, we're no longer afraid of the boogeyman in the closet. We're afraid of the boogeyman online. And we're afraid of what people might say. And we're afraid of how we might look. Most people don't care how you look. It's like going to the gym, right? It's like going to the gym. No one's looking at you because everyone's looking at themselves. No one's worried about how you look. They're looking at themselves. So if this is helpful for you, and again, this is just a small piece of the wheel, I invite you to join us at our Gamechanger Be the One. There's a link in the description. It's a 2-day event. It's an experience where you're going to get more clear on how to map out 2026, how to overcome obstacles, how to set in stone the systems and the protocols and the blueprints with the tools to help you overcome fear, doubt, destroy obstacles, as well as build out the steps to go get what you want. Click on the link, join us, and register for your seat today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe, send this to someone, and I'll see you next time.